renewable energy.
Our success or a successful pathway to our mission and goals, right? S4CA and clean energy transitions. There's a student organization it's New York statewide. We have a big contingency on Long Island, but it has been actually even nationwide. And we have had chapters upstate. And I just want to pass it off to the Deputy Executive Director, Harrison Bench, to talk about the youth, how youth could really play a big role in this and open doors that many of us cannot open. And the successes they've had showcases that they could really be a player in this network. So Harrison Bench, all you.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. And hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Meeting most of you, but also I know that our group has collaborated with some of you in the past. So I'm not going to talk too long. I just want to give you all a brief introduction to Students for Climate Action, which is the group that Melissa just introduced. I've been with Students for Climate Action, S4CA, since 2017 when I was a high school student myself, and now I'm serving in that expanded staff role as Deputy Executive Director alongside some amazing folks. We are based primarily on Long Island, but we have other chapters throughout New York, and we do play a really important role in the important movement that your organizations also participate in advocating for clean energy and sustainability goals throughout New York State and beyond at all levels of government. So just throwing up our mission statement up here and who we are: a nonpartisan environmental org. We've worked with elected officials and candidates of many different political parties, even some smaller third parties. Whoever wants to have a seat at the table, we are happy to work with them. And the primary way that we are able to impact change is by, as Melissa said, connecting youth, connecting high school students with elected leaders, as well as other representatives. So sometimes it's individuals from your organization. Sometimes it's individuals who serve in non-political government positions or community members to promote these climate policies and 100% renewable energy initiatives around New York State. And how do we do this? Well, first, I guess, who are we? Just some older photos again, just high school students. We like to think of it as, more than just an after-school club, right? Because there is that passion, there is that drive. And very often we have students that are interested in pursuing this field as a career. They like to go to college, study environmental science, environmental policy. I'm studying environmental law right now. So it's more than just something fun to do. Absolutely, it is fun, but it's also because we recognize that as the next generation, we are going to be the ones that are dealing with the worst impacts of the climate crisis. And we are the ones who are going to have to continue to do the work that all of you are doing in pushing for those solutions, those renewable energy solutions there. So first and foremost, we meet with elected officials. You could see just up here, smattering. All of these, I believe, are, former Senator Boyle is a state representative, but the rest are local representatives. So the CEC and CSC programs, which the state has spearheaded, have been wonderful in helping local governments recognize their shortcomings on sustainability, as well as providing incentives to overcome those shortcomings. And so we have taken real advantage of those programs and expertise with the specific action items to get in the door with elected officials. And as Melissa said, oftentimes it's sometimes difficult for different demographics or different groups to get that meeting, get that in-person engagement. But so often we see that elected officials really want to connect with youth. Obviously, there is that photo op kind of opportunity that they see with us, but it's also more than that. It's also listening to our concerns. And something we love to say is that even though high school students cannot vote, they soon will be able to vote. They care about these issues, and encouraging them to vote. Pre-register, we could pre-register at 16 in New York State is so important. So recognizing that local government leaders especially can hear their concerns is such a big way that we help these youth become engaged civic leaders, especially in local elections. We also, after the pandemic, transitioned to a lot of Zoom meetings. That's something we've continued, and we've actually seen, right now we're all meeting over Zoom. It's much easier to engage and connect with a larger audience and a larger group of students from very different parts of Long Island and New York State over Zoom. So continuing these meetings as well. Attending events. We were fortunate enough to be at the signing of the CLCPA up there in the upper left. So we are so excited to have the most progressive piece of climate legislation in the entire country and working to ensure that the scoping plan and the implementation of this law is sound, is equitable, and is as aggressive as we need it to be in New York State, and going to other environmental engagements as well with elected leaders to get our name out there and also to get our name out to the community as well to gain that support. And here we were, I believe this was last year, for a offshore wind engagement over in Brentwood with Governor Hochul, which was a really exciting thing because, like I mentioned before, we're also trying to encourage these young people to enter this as a career field and see the different places that their lives can take them should they encourage within themselves to take this more seriously than just, an after school club. This could be something that fulfills them and they can continue to make a lasting impact on climate and energy and the environment for years to come. Speaking of public forums is another great way to not only get our name out there to elected leaders. We've spoken in front of the legislature. We've spoken in front of many different town boards on Long Island, but it's also a great way, again, to connect with other community residents who are, impassioned about a variety of things when they go and speak in front of their town board. And when they see that youth are just as passionate about different issues, it's really great to see that they can be involved in the political process. They can be involved in the civic process and actually have that voice. This has helped us gain, a tremendous amount of support, not only from the community, but also from the local press, which is another big collaboration that we love to take advantage of to push for clean energy and climate action. Again, speaking in front of different panels. And like I said before, meeting with candidates, we want to make sure that before elected officials get into office, they are vocal about their support for renewable energy. They're vocal about their support for climate action and taking these issues seriously. So we've been happy to collaborate with other environmental organizations for the past 2 congressional cycles on town halls. We're excited to continue to host these for years to come, especially meeting with candidates who are not running at the federal level. We're meeting with candidates who run at the state level or the local level, because these are issues where their support one way or another could really impact the turnout in a race where it comes down to a few hundred votes, and making sure youth, again, even though we cannot vote, I can, but our youth cannot vote yet. They're at the center of the conversation. They are there asking these questions, getting these answers, and ensuring that they are a part of the conversation, even if they are not able to show up on election day just yet. And again, hosting community events. We've held some peaceful protests. We've participated in the Fridays for Future movement started by Greta Thunberg. We've attended a variety of workshops or a variety of conferences, because again, it's more than just this fun after school activity, this fun passion project. It's an educational opportunity for our youth members. It's an opportunity to connect and network with people in the industry or people in government or people in academia who are passionate about this issue so that they could see themselves in those careers as well. And again, we go to a ton of legislative advocacy events around Long Island, around New York State, just to continue to show our support for goals that may not even be specifically climate. We really did push hard on the Prop 1 ballot measure that I believe 2 years ago for the Clean Bond Act. And we're happy to give our support there and make those collaborations when it could be mutually beneficial. And again, hosting opportunities for us to come together. You can see all the mass. So this is in 2021. But really bringing our youth together, even though we now meet over Zoom, we like to convene everyone and really work on building skills, building public speaking skills, building letter writing skills, phone calling skills, to make sure that we can have the biggest and the greatest impact that we possibly can have. And like I said, getting our name out there, participating in other conferences, speaking ourselves, collaborating with other groups, being interviewed on podcasts, fun stuff like that. And this is something maybe we'd love to collaborate with some of you on, is our speaker series that we've held in the past and hope to bring back sometime soon. Again, ensuring that this is more than just an activity. This is a lifelong commitment. This is a educational opportunity so that they could hear from people who work in these fields and work in your organizations about opportunities there and the important work that you all do. Because sometimes, it's great when we have the kids that are passionate about our projects, but they're passionate about another environmental project. That is obviously great too. Like I said, helped pass the S4CA, doing a lot of advocacy there. We have been really working hard on our very own bill up in Albany. We haven't been able to get passed yet, but that's not going to deter us. We helped the town of Islip become a clean energy certified community. That was a very big deal for us, and we were really excited about that. We helped the town of Islip also designate a staff member to be a sustainability coordinator. We were able to get the town of Islip to start reserving 1 seat on the Islip Town Environmental Council for a youth member. So we've had 3 students of ours who've gone through that seat. And we worked in other towns such as the town of Brookhaven, the town of Huntington, the town of Southampton, East Hampton. I believe we're also in the town of Babylon, pushing for those sustainability initiatives as well, using the CEC and CSC programs as those drafts. And having fun with it. It's so important to build community. I think that's such an advantage to this P2P program, building that community in this space, seeing others from different organizations or different passions or different projects. And so really ensuring that we encourage networking and collaboration is so important to continue to fuel this movement. And so with that, again, I didn't want to, take up too much time. I just wanted to show you guys some fun photos and explain what our group does. We're in the summer months now, so it is more intermittent when it comes to meeting with our students. We're hoping to hold a fundraiser in August that I'm sure I'll reach out to most of you about sometime soon. But if you want to connect with us, please follow us on social media. You could reach out to me at that email address there. And in the September to October months, when we start meeting again with our students regularly, we're really looking forward to collaborating with your groups and continuing to help with the important sustainability work that we're doing here today. So I just want to say thank you for having me, and thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Harrison. Thank you very much. That's so impressive, right? Yeah, it's amazing. And just to showcase, we have strong chapters on Long Island. We have had chapters upstate, and it really is the student. So if you have connections to student groups, if you have connections to teachers that we could present to their groups, we'd be more than happy to do some outreach in that area to grow Students for Climate Action into your communities. One area that's big is the public forums. The students love speaking in front of their elected officials, and it's a really good tool for them as they grow. So, reach out to Harrison if you would like to discuss ways in which we can work together. You could work with the group. And Simon, you had your hand up. Did we answer your question?
I think you answered my question. I was just really asking, how do we get this out of Long Island and up to the rest of the state? And I would like to know if there's a process that you have to for groups upstate New York to become part of your group.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, Harrison, please go.
As I say in the past, and I continue, I think we're going to continue to use Google Drive, Google Forms to stay in touch with our students. That's how we collaborate on documents and presentations. But right now, I think because we're breaking for the summer, the best way to get in touch is just to, if you have any connections to teachers or schools or student organizations, where you're from, upstate New York, wherever that may be, just give them my email. They could reach out to me, and we'll work together to ensure that they could start a chapter before the school year starts in September. We have had some chapters in upstate New York before. It has been a little difficult sometimes with the communication, but we actually presented at the Youth Empowerment and Sustainability Summit at the Ashokan Center in upstate New York this past February. So we were able to connect with some wonderful upstate schools, and we're really looking forward to broadening our impact in the state so that we can kind of cover more ground with elected officials.